So far, we have been writing all our minimal web API in the program.cs file. But this can become unmanageable and unreadable in a full-blown project. We need a scheme for organizing our web API so that they can stay in a class of their own inside a file of their own. We should even have a possibility of multiple classes, with each class containing all the related web API, those of a doctor in one file, whereas those of a patient in another file. In this tutorial, we have a brief look at the various possibilities, and finally, I show an implementation of the scheme that I personally prefer. Now, there are various possibilities of specifying route handlers for a web API. One is to have an inline lambda. It works very well for smaller projects and is even better for cases where the handler is of one or two quick lines, as you are seeing here. Another possibility is to use a local function, as you are seeing here. In this code, we have a local function called handler. This function is then used in the mapget API, as you are seeing here, and this approach could work fine for a medium-sized project. The code for your handler, it stays in a separate function and therefore it becomes more readable to a certain extent. The third possibility is to use an instance method of a separately written class. For example, we can add a suitable class to our project such as myHandler and add suitable instance functions to this class. For example, the function fx contains the code for our handler. This instance function can now be wired to the web API as shown here. As you must have noticed that we need to first create an instance of the class and then call the specific function from there. This step can be done away with by using a static class instead, and that will make it more neat also. The approach I prefer is to use a static class, and now I shall demonstrate how we can modify our existing web API project so that it uses a static class for neatly holding all our web API. Our project has about 6 web API, and now it's time to put all of them in a static class. Open the web API project and right-click to add a folder called, let's say, Web API Handlers. This folder can contain all our static classes for our route handlers. Right-click this folder and add a class called, say, Doctor Web API Mapper. Double-click and open this file so that we can examine the code. This is the file Doctor Web API Mapper.cs, and it contains a static class called Doctor Web API Mapper. We have added a function called Configure Web API to register all our 6 or 7 web API. Let's have a look at the first of them. The route handler is a separate static function of this class. The code for the API is now contained in this function. As you can see, this is more readable and neat. This class can grow as per the needs and yet remain readable. We have ported all the web API of our project to this class, and you can obtain the project from the downloads attached to this video. Let us have a look at the program.cs file also. Open the program.cs file and scroll to the part that you are seeing